Hey, there was a network error. Please try again. Really? Really? Oh, I see. You wanted to show some adverts. What's that? The sound? Hmm. Oh, it's worked. What about sound? Do we have sound? We do. Right, thank you. All way to know. What can I do with this pen thing? Alright, so that needs to... Okay. Yeah. Interesting, doesn't it? Amber Rogue Alpha 1.0. Little program we've been working on from scratch, um, mainly in C, the C language. What can I do with that? Well, we need to talk about systems and system programming. And what the hell kind of mess is this? Yeah. Right, let's take an easy one. Let's have a look. GameTurn.h. System move. Entity.h. That line there is not required. So let's see what happens if I remove that. Quite a lot should happen. Well, maybe not. Right, where's the code? Code, I've just got it here, haven't I? Yeah. Source, game rules, game turn. Now you know why I have it all labeled in such a way. Game rules. Game turn.h. Okay, so if we look at game turn.h, don't need why. Oh, right, I'm running it? I am running it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Don't mind. Right. So what I'm looking at here is a line that says system move entity.h. So if we look down here on these includes, we'll find this one here. That line there. It's not needed. And it's only an include, but watch what happens. Okay, just take that out. Control S to save it. Quite a bit happened, didn't it? Did that surprise you? It shouldn't do, but it matters an awful lot. We've got another one here. Look at this. Little bendy lines and things. Okay. So what we got? That line there goes all the way around to the main game loop. Well, so does this long line here. And there's another one coming in from over here. So this component.h text. Right, so I can either go through here, which gives us this long waggly line, or I can go through here, or both. Well, this GUI here, that's going all the way to the bottom, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Yeah, it is. Good. Right, that's fine. Might need to take some simpler steps first, but this is a problem here. What I'll do, because you're requesting it through here, and you're requesting it separately, which you have to anyway. Okay. Oh God, I'm trying to burn myself. I mean, if I throw it on the carpet, it'll just burn the carpet, won't it? Whoopsie daisy. The disadvantages of being me is I can't tell when I'm burning myself. Oh, well, right. So what I'm saying is that the main game loop doesn't need to include component text 3d.h. So let's take a look at that one. This is going to get very interesting very quickly. There it is. That line there. Not needed. That's in game turn. Don't do that. Go to the right place. Core main game loop.h. And we're saying that it really doesn't need to include the component text 3D. That one. That's what we're saying. Because it's already included here. There's already a line coming to here, which is system text 3D. There it is. System text 3D. That has to be moved, yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. We'll talk about that after I've done some of this. So we can take it out, really. So there you go. Can save that. Don't need to run it again to prove that it's done something very, very strange. Alright, just give you a second. I've also got a line here, and a line going across there. It's all to do with the graphical user interface. So again, I don't think we need this GUI.h here. It's in the middle of nowhere. Seems completely useless to me. Okay, GUI.h can go. Take you out. Alrighty, save you. Anything else we can see at the top? That might get these in the right order soon. Alright, gain turn.h is a nightmare. Alright, wow. It seriously doesn't need this line here, does it? to detect collisions. Okay, game rules, game turn.h. We're taking out detect collisions out of the physics area. That one. This is called including too much. It might sound silly, but it's true. That line still goes down there, so it doesn't actually need the monster manual either. That line continues, so it doesn't need the monster AI. So that's those two gone. The reason I'm doing this first is because we're going to be moving things. File path-wise. And probably name-wise as well. That could be interesting. I wonder how Microsoft will react to that. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so I've started at the top, which is not what you're supposed to do, really, I suppose. Right, so we've smoothed it. We've taken those two lines, that one out, that one. Oh, we haven't taken out the monster manual. Oh. Okay, monster. Was that one away to take out anyway? 5. Go away. Alright, we're starting to look semi-decent in here now. This is starting to look proper. Monster manual's gone. Detect collisions gone. And monster AI has gone. Yeah. That's fine. What's this weirdo squiggly line going on over here? Trying to get to entity.h from main loop. Main loop. Main loop. Please, just stop it. Just stop it. You just don't need to do that, honestly. The main loop is going to be the biggest cause of concern, obviously. We're trying to simplify that out. All right. Run. Done. Refresh. Lovely. Things have moved around again. Oh, we can nearly fit it on a screen, but not quite. I'll go. That is amazing. Ah, bless. What is that outside line for? Right, so I think that's the only duplicate we've got in there. So CPP doesn't need window 3D.h. That is funniest. That is one of the funniest ones. I knew it existed even when I did it. Okay, let's have a look. Doesn't actually need this one line here. Remember, every single file has common.h in it. And we'll continue to do so. That's the one we don't remove. Alright, that's the only one in there. Okay. This isn't overly harsh. We've still got a crossover though. But you can see now it's starting to look less crossy over. Yeah, right. Oops. Yeah. Right, let's have a look over here. This will be the easiest one to see. GameLoop.h is going to be our prime candidate, I think. What's this one going all the way around the outside? Or, I wonder. To component model position. Not needed. Line 8. Disappear. There's another one there as well. If it's going in through rendering, who goes first? Rendering goes first. So you are dungeon.h. Okay. Line 10. You're wondering, why am I doing all of this? Well, one of the things you can't do... Oh, rendering also gives us this. Where's this one going? Ink, and it's coming off. Rendering again. Model warehouse.h. You can't move things around if it looks like spaghetti, and that's exactly what it is at the moment. Little bit of spaghetti going on, or it will become that if we let it. It isn't actually, it's just that the header files are crisscrossing all over the place and making a hell of a mess. Now rendering can either go that way and that way. Yes, it does. But you've got a triangle here. So rendering doesn't need monstermanual.h. Okay. Let's take out the monstermanual.h here. And we should start seeing what I'm trying to say very, very soon. Another run. Okay, you're done. Let's update. Oh. Yes, that's right. Everything has now contracted more towards the center. That's correct. But you can now see how this is starting to appear. And that's started to appear. We've now got some straight lines going down. Ooh. That's interesting. You could say that that doesn't need common.h, but it does. I can't tell you why straight away, but we're going to get to that. There's something weird that happened later on. You've got this horrible thingy going all the way around the outside to there. You're the only one that's accessing system text 3D.h. Really? That's because we haven't put it in yet. That system isn't there. That tells me that that system isn't in place. Okay. Some of these things are going to slide across the other side. All right. That's now going straight down. That's what I wanted. That's still got an awkward go around the corner. That has to do a wiggly wiggly. That goes through to there. Doesn't have to because it's already coming from there. So entity.h can come out of treasure items in game world. There is an ulterior motive to this. Treasure items. It was entity.h, wasn't it? What I'm doing is I'm simplifying the header files. That things only have what they need. It's already starting to unravel our little piece of knitting. So that's going to go around that corner that way successfully. That's okay. Monstermanual.h doesn't need the entity.h. Game world. That line there. Alright, this is starting to clean up now. We're actually we didn't do too badly on this. Normally I'm given a lot bigger diagrams to look at. Can't take the common off that. Common has to have every single program or header file has to access it. Has to. That's a rule. Main loop goes down to there and across to there. It also comes around the corner. Main game loop. You don't really need that dungeon monster stats, do you? It's that line, isn't it? This is starting to look better. Let me just check it is that line. Yeah, it is. This is shortening down a bit. For another run. If you've never seen this being done, then you've never seen a systems designer at work. I can't design a system until I know what the hell it looks like. Aha, we've now got a straight line. And we've nearly got a straight line. That's looking a lot better. Oh, wait a minute. That bring a triangle up? Yes, it did. Rendering.h. Model warehouse. Let's see where they are. Model warehouse, you don't need that line. If you're wondering why I'm ignoring all the squigglies, it's because we're not programming on this machine. Okay. Okay. That's that one done. Lovely. That's worked. There's something not quite right with this one here. This little bend. And that's in game turn. That's a bit awkward. Oh, we've got an obvious one just above it though. Main game loop. Who would have thought? Get rid of Amber Maths dice. Yep. Main game loop. Okay, you get rid of line 5. extra lines that I've put in it for no reason whatsoever. Okay. That's an obvious one. You can see it crossing over all of the lines. That's an obvious one. Rendering.h, component model position. That's you. Goodbye. Yeah, that's simplified right down, hasn't it? Interestingly. All right. Combat.h doesn't need component. Combat.h. Where are you? Why haven't you got your things, your source on? Okay. Sandcomponent.h, where will I find you? I'll find you under rules. I hope. Why hasn't that got his prefixes on? Because I did it wrong. In game turn. Yes, I did. That's wrong. It isn't that at all. It might move. It's source, forward stroke, game rules. This is the other thing you have to do whilst going through, is correct things that aren't coming up correctly. Same as with damage.h. I'll deal with that now anyway. That's a save. And that's because combat.h doesn't include it properly. Which it doesn't. Very naughty. Let me just do this before I take out a line. Game rules. A lot of work should be spent organising what you're doing. The structure of what you're doing. Game rules. Did I pull that? Yes, I did. Right, good. Thank God for that. Why does it doesn't like an if and deafen? God, I love Microsoft programs. They're so wonderful. Right, that one doesn't need dice. So let's be careful now, because I just put myself off. Yeah, I've got a slightly bent line here coming into dice from combat. And that's you. Alright. Let's just close a few of these. Now it should start to become clear about what's happening. I hope. Just do one more. I don't want to take out too many. There's a point at which you stop. There's a reason for that as well. Okay, refresh. Good. We got it. That's what we need to see. That's exactly what we should see. Okay. That's correct now. That's correct. They're being taken out of the way. And we've got a separate system going on over here. Okay. Right, so we've got two systems here. We've got this system. Oh, no, three systems. We've got 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Component combat.h. Come out of sandcombat.h and main game loop. And make sure of this. Yeah. Component combat.h is that comes out as sand combat. Yeah. Preview. And it can come out of this main game loop. It really doesn't need to be in here. It's the top one, is it? Okay. That's starting to look better. I said we got 3. Might need to take out another 2 yet. Oh no, 4 for the window. Is there another one on the right hand side? Let me just check. I've got one more to find out. Shaders. 5. The shaders and graphical user interface, that's 2. Windows 3Ds 3. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Those are that coming out the game loop. No, it should just be window. Where's window gone? Is that still on main? Window 3D.h. See, that's typical of me. There it is. See, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Five. Taking that one out. Text 3D.8. Let me just pull this up and make sure I got it right. Input. Mhm. Window rendering and game turn, yeah. Which are your basics of a game. Window rendering game turn, user input and system text 3D. What the hell have we still got that in for? Hmm. Well, that's correct. It's this crossover line that I don't like here. Hmm. That's an interesting one. Right, so it belongs with this. That belongs with this. Is coming out of, yeah, ECS and game rules. Is in graphical user interface, and that's in graphical user interface. We grouped them in the same place. It's being pulled inside of that. I see. I've got one here. Dungeon.h. Maths. Yeah, Dungeon.h, get rid of maths. I think that's nearly the last one. Where's Dungeon.h when it's at home? In the game world. Okay. There we are. Just get rid of that dice. I think we're close. We are very close to what we need. Yeah, that's all down. Okay. Let's run that. I think we should have it. Now, I expect main or something to shift to one side. If you have done that, it's gone probably one step too far. Let's see. What I want to see happen is common there, a straight line down those three, common there, and then links off to each side. That's what I thought was going to happen. Perfect. There you go. Why has it done that? And it isn't because everything's linked to common.h. It's now realised that rogue.cpp isn't doing anything. Well, it does. It sets up the shaders. And it runs a main game loop. That's about it, really. Can we see the three designs now? We've got one, Got that one going. How's about this one? Got this crossover here at the monster manual. There we go. Component, 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 maths, component, all on the same line. That's correct. Start seeing the system now. Something not right. I don't know. There's your entity, and there's your component. So it's E, C, the S. And that's what we wanted to talk about. Our systems and our components are slightly astray at the moment. User interface GUI.h. I bet if I look at that, it'll look very much like a component. Let's have a look at it. So source graphical user interface GUI.h. It has add to rendering, remove from rendering, lookup entity. And GUI create. Just out of interest, let's just have a look at component combat.h. Using the ECS. The one next door to it. Notice I haven't had to change any of these. Initialize, component add combat, delete lookup. So let's look at that again. User interface. GUI.h. Source common, source common, source entity, source entity. It's got an extra bit in. Dungeon monsters. Well, that's on the component side, whereas the GUI one hasn't. That's in the wrong place. That line there shouldn't even be here. It's definitely not part of the header file, that is it? That's a data structure. A header file should only in C should only contain what it's just like a listing of functions. That's all it should contain in C. In fact, you don't even need them in C. You can take it out quite happily and it'll still work beautifully. I use them because it helps me with the system design. It's a choice. So initialize. We called it create, did we? That isn't GUI create. That is component add. Delete. Add delete maybe. An entity ID. And then we've got lookup entity, which is your standard idea. What do I call it? Table number there, and I called it entity ID over there. But you can see now how confused this is compared to a component. Have a look at every component that we've done. Use this side. I don't know. I'm still wanting to know why that's in. Might just be where it's popped up in the tables. Initialize, add component, delete, and lookup. So initialize, add, delete, lookup. We might be right there. We might be right. Could be wrong as well. That's suggesting there's something not quite right about that thing there. And the other thing I wanted to know is, why did that have Dungeon Monster? Because it wanted to read the stats in. The monster. But it's actually a complex component. I should put that component complex, really. It's because we want to look them up. I know. Dungeon Monster lookup combat stats. Yep. As long as it's not the player. Right. That makes sense. Trying to think if there's any way around it. Nope. I don't think there is. That's not a component. That's just landed there. Which means that that could or couldn't be. Might be, might not. On every single one of these components, one thing that we can do is take out source common.h. We can't anywhere else. And it's due to how compilers work. Nothing else. Compilers have certain page sizing limitations depending on the compiler that you use. So if you're using one of the quick compilers, you need that .h in everything, because that's got to be the first file that a quick compiler will compile. If everything points to it, it will be always, always, always the first file to be compiled, because it isn't a compilation file. So it won't be compiled, sorry. First file to be read, because it isn't a compilation file. It's a preprocessor directive file. All your preprocessor stuff goes in there. And that's why I call it common. It goes in every file to make sure that it goes first. And that means the processor will read and have the preprocessor file to hand. Sometimes you might find it as an initialization file or something like that. Some people might call it initialization file. I don't, because we're going to create an initialization file later on. So I won't be doing that. Now, am I happy with what we've got? Pretty much. I'm not seeing any obvious ones that we want to get rid of, but you can see that it's flattened. Before it was like a ball. Now it's going across and it's flattened. That's good. Right, okay. Not see any obvious ones here. There might be one. I don't care if there is. That's not the point to this part of the experiment. Let's call it an experiment. It is an experiment. This is on a separate computer from the stuff that we're doing. I'm confident that that will build and run just the same. In fact, I'm 100% confident. I know, because I have done it so many times. Couple of things in here that could do with straightening out. I don't think there is. I'll show you what I mean. Have a look at this. Think you'll be able to see it now? There is one. This. That can be slid in there. That goes into component.h. ECS, graphical user GUI, text. I think that slides into there. Because combat goes with game rules, ECS, that's right. Game rules, core, that's a utility file. And maths, which is a utility file. So it's just game rules on that side, game rules. Over here, we've got component, user interface. No, it's component, it can stay where the hell it is. We'll go with that one. That line there. I don't like that. It's just we've got a loop going into the entity from here. Well, we've got one going into the entity from here as well. Brought down. Bring that down. Why does it work? Okay, it's because the game loop goes into itself. Yes, of course it does. The loop. Oh, sorry, the CPP, yeah. This is a reference diagram, so it shows you the what code references what header file. This is the header file thing. But you can see that source common contains all of these header files. Splits them out for you. That's nice. That's a program, that. GUI, ECS, game rules. That's all we've programmed. The rest of it we haven't put together yet. And that combat needs to be revisited. Well, a couple of things need to be revisited. GUI. Isn't fitting in very well. That's the biggest thing that I can take away from doing that little exercise. This GUI doesn't fit in very well. Game turn, main game. Graphical user interface. To GUI. Yeah. Yeah, there should be more access there. The only yeah, it must be. Playing around with pretty patterns. Better. Let's get to a darker screen. God, my eyes beginning to bleed there. Ah, lovely. So GUI. GUI. We're also missing some systems. You see, how can I put this? 1K. Oh, right. Hmm. That's not good. Hmm. Uh, okay, that will just be docs. Um, Yeah, I can do it that way, can't I? Is there not just a thing for an all? I just, that then. Yeah, it is. Alright, so that's all that we've changed. Interestingly enough. And files. And now we can start to see a system developing, the ECS system, which is the one that we were trying to design in the first place. Now I know there's something that should be changed over to be something different. So let's see what we can do. I'm just wondering how to do this. I want to keep the doxy file. Okay. Used. Header. File. Structure. Inclusions. Inclusions. Hash inclusion. Hash includes. Removed to stream line. How can you put it? How the compiler to streamline in which order the compiler reads them. That's exactly what we've just done. Full stop. That will affect how the final compilation will be. And it also, interestingly, alters its behavior. Because now the compiler doesn't have to, how can you put it? Guess at which order things are going to be used in. It now knows which order they're going to be used in and can convert quite a lot of our code into shortened versions. It will shrink the overall code immensely. Can halve your code. People don't believe me on that one, but hey ho, up to you whether you believe it or not. I'm gonna keep that. Let's run a test. If it'll let me. Okay, save the changes. How do we do it now from here? Pull. Yeah, header file hash includes remove to streamline in which order the compiler reads them. Right, so this is up to date. Will it work? There were build errors. There you go. GameTurn wants access to entity but can't get it. Oh no. Identify not found. All right. That's interesting. So we've changed it. Here we go. We go to that one, please. Thank you. Lovely. I love it when it does this. So GameTurn wants that to be available. And it's not. This is in GameTurn? What it's telling me is, hold on a minute. What is it actually telling me? That I'm right and it's wrong. You're not. Don't need the history. Yeah, it's correct. Why is that previous? Something not right there. Something wrong. Mhm. It's altered. Why would it alter? This was up to date and saved out, and I made damn sure of it. I wonder if that screwed it all up. I think my system's been skavooed. The code hasn't gone away, though. It's all here. How weird. Monster manual check location XZ doesn't exist. Correct. But it's not correct. Did I remove one I shouldn't have done? Hmm. Did I remove that line there? I think I did. By accident. Yeah, I've removed the line I shouldn't have done. Okay. Source game world monster manual. Hmm. That's the problem with me. Oops. Keyboard don't. That might help. Let's try this keyboard. This one might work. Lucky. Hash include. Source. Game world. Monster manual. Okay. Build. Rebuild solution, please, and see what other errors I've made. Okay. I removed all of these out of here, so why hold on a minute. Okay. I did it on purpose. Alright, let's put them back in. Not every... this doesn't work. So I want monster AI. Where will I find monster AI? I will find it in Game World. Shouldn't be. Hash include. Source. Game. Nope. That's you. And the last one was system move. Okay. System move is easy. Yes, take you out of there for a minute. I'm going to split this down. Components. Hash include. This is another thing you should do. You're not actually supposed to do this, put them in an order. You're supposed to put them in the order they're used. Tab. Move, there it is. Okay. Alright. Alright, should work now. Should. Or it can find other faults I've made. Rebuild solution, please. No. Okay. Does that work? Absolutely does. Keyboard. Yeah, we've got no problems there. We've got attacks going on and all that kind of thing coming. Yeah, movement, good. Right. Everything's okay. But something didn't happen correctly. Let's have another look at that. This could be why I wasn't seeing what I was expecting to see. Enter message. Clean up header files, because this is what I'm playing with at the moment. These are just the header files, not the code. Okay, one outgoing, push away. Thank you. Lovely. I prefer the Linux way of doing things, must admit. So now I can rejig that. Okay. It was. That's it. Lovely. Cute. And let's see the finals. Interesting. Will it bring it back out? No, it doesn't. That's good. Yes, thank you. Didn't wreck it. Good. Yeah. Right, I can see them now. That's interesting. So why didn't it work? Why can't we path directly through the monster AI to this header? Does anybody know? Hmm. And this is where order of header files comes in. Depending on your compiler. That's interesting. Monster AI goes through to system move. So that right. I'm looking at the wrong things, I must be. Monster AI isn't there. Huh? Is it there? That should. Does. Right. Component model position.h. Probably took out the wrong ones then. No. Monster manual.h. Don't need it. Yeah. Wrong keyboard. Just use it 'cause it's easier. All right. So I'm right so far. System move entity we didn't need. I think I took out the wrong lines here. Yeah. I see. That one. Okay, bit at a time. Yep, that's looking good. I think that's it. There should be 3 removed. Make sure I get the right bloody 3. And collision.h has still got this weirdo thing going on. Okay. The monster manual. We didn't change. We didn't touch collision. Alrighty. That one there. It's critical that we get this right. I'm totally right on it. Afterwards, we are buzzing. We will be buzzing as we put a new system in. Well, actually, it's a rewrite of an old system. I'm going to rewrite the combat system. Any more? Or any more? The rendering doesn't need maths. It does, but it doesn't. Let's try it. If this works, I'm a genius. We've decided on that one. Oh, delete. We decided on that. These 3. Delete. Delete. I knew this was going to be a problem doing it properly. Right. Okay. Rendering. Shouldn't need to be referencing that. Problem is with rendering is I need to do a rewrite on that as well, yeah. Yeah, it's Amber Dice it's got here. Okay. I just do that. Oh, it won't do the CPPs. Pop. Can't do that way. If you're only changing header files, you have to do a rebuild. Otherwise, it doesn't reread them. It just ignores them. Mostly. Are we alright with that? Yeah. Yeah, we are. Okay, any more for any more whilst I'm still messing with this? That should hopefully get the dice out of the way with. Leaves us this gooey one. It's floating. Yeah. Oh, we're just relying on the renderer to pick up on it, aren't we? Aha. We're not actually doing anything with it. That's fine. I have a rendering going across to here. This is coming down here. This goes down this line to here, then this comes down to here, and on to there. Missed. No, it goes back across here, doesn't it? We've got a line in, down, and right all the way back across again. That's your rendering dice done. Good. Made as a can't. Can't change that. Okay. Oops. Don't move that. Get you out of the way a minute. Get the right mouse. Component text 3D.h. Yeah, this is because it isn't correct. That's okay. That's why it's still left out in the wild. Finally. Alright, I think I'm happy. Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay. That works, doesn't it now? Yeah. Okay, game is up, running, working, and doing everything it should do. Um, that's about right. Final header. Clean up. Alright. Push that off. Alright, this should. I'm hoping it's done it. Let's find out. Let's go glarishly white. That's better. No, it's not. Oh, right. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Alright, I should do everything. I hope this is correct now. Do it, you're right. You're right, you're right, you're right. Got to be right now. Oh, yes, it's moved it across. Wow, that is so close. Oh my god. You see it? Wow. Onto that line. Okay. We've got the straight lines again. The rules go through combat, damage, and dice. That is correct now. Utilizing the ECS components. Yes, that's the only things it should be using. GUI is still hanging out in a weird place. I hiccup there, Muppet. Bless you. I think we have done it. Control. There we go. You're gonna have to move, love. Come on, Muppet, move. This is a bit better than what we started with. A hell of a lot better. And there's still one there. Dungeon Monster AI. See, now we're starting to see these larger loops. And these are the dangerous ones. See how everything's sort of like settled out to one side? Well, that should not be going in a strange way like that. It should be going straight down. Dungeon Monster AI. Can I take out... I need the two going off either side. But can I take out the ones coming down? Have a look. Dungeon Monster AI. Let's have a look at them. It's Monster AI. I got two AI units going on here. No, it's Dungeon Monsters, Monster AI. Yeah. Okay. I am just being extra careful, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't make sense what that looks like. Good. I'm thinking that one there. Component model position. Okay. And that one there. No problem with that. So that's okay. That's going to straight line. Those are into the right place. These two systems tie together through the dungeon. We still have to sort out the text. Yeah, the UI. Model warehouses annoyed me. Okay. I think I've gone as far as I want to. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Dee, 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 dee. Okay. Done. Last one. How long has this taken? Nearly 2 hours? Yeah, that's about right. Usually takes about that long. Even if I did make a mistake halfway through, as usual. Had to correct it all. Oh, you beaut. Alright. Sorry about the white screen business. We have a main game loop. Now, we have our rendering system, which is a main system. That's this one. We have a dungeon. We have the game rules. That system there. That's it. Anything else I need in here? Where's game turn? Yeah. Right. This is the bit that I want to move. That's in the wrong place. And it always comes back to this one file, GUI.h, every single time. ECS goes across. Your entity is here. There's your E. So there's your E. There's your C. Where's your S? Up here somewhere. So the main flow of the program is here to here through this system. Does it go? Wah. Sand combat. 1 second. Our combat system's being done in, separately. It's good. Back down that line there, and it's a straight line, isn't it? Yeah. It's that. To the dungeon. So that's your main process. And that's a straight line. Your secondary process is here. Meeting back up at dungeon. Everything that comes off there is a utility or a header, the common. Now the system that we are going to be doing next is the item system. Which will not, it will fit in. It will now. We've got that. Now we've got that. It's easy. The main game loop runs the rules and renders. All it's doing. But we don't have the initializer and the closure. There you go. That's how easy this program is. That's what the main game loop is doing. That's what it tells me. It says it's running the game turn and it's rendering. That's it. Full stop. There's nothing else happening there. Everything else is a side effect of the ECS system. So that has to alter. Good. That's groovy. That is fantastic. That is what I wanted to know. Thank you, God, we've made it. Alright, so back to pointer. Move you out of the way a bit. I think I'm ready. Nearly. Do we do the combat system first, or? We've got to sort out that GUI.h before we can go anywhere. At the moment, it's outside of the ECS. And if we want to do an items system, it's got to include an inventory system, and it's got to include a way of accessing that for the user by pressing the letter I on the keyboard, and the inventory comes up. When the player walks over the model of an item, it will try and pick it up and place it in the inventory. Or a message will go out saying inventory full. Unable to pick up blah blah. I did get the GUI is now perfectly working, by the way. As it stands, I think it might just be badly labelled. When I was programming it, I was not happy with what I was doing because I knew that the item system. I'll show you. It's easier if I show you. Let's get rid of that in case I open this screen again. I don't want to be blinded every time. All right. Okay. So if I run program as it stands now, we have place holding text for testing. Now to prove that it's working, if I get rid of this keyboard, get a different keyboard altogether now. So we're going on to Microsoft for a bit. Put the Linux stuff away. Lovely. All right, let's just do this, and that means I can now move around as Wadit. All right. So that text is staying there. Treasure. Monster added to 6. There's only one monster. I've got to find it, have I? Let's just restart with more monsters, please. Oh, 3 monsters, that'll do. 156. One's down here. Oh, there's a monster there. There's a monster. Right. Place holding text. If I now hit the monster, player attacks monster. Comes up on screen here. Player attacks monster. You can hardly see it on your screen unless you've got it on TV. Yeah, so that's moving backwards and forwards between the two things. To do that, you can see that attacks are going on. They're not correct, but we've got to go back to that. But that is working fine. Absolutely fine. So that's all sorted out, and that's in game turn for that code. Right. So we're not working blind anymore. I can now know what's going on. Game rules. No, it isn't. It's this graphical user interface. Now in the rendering, we're picking it up here. And it's being passed in here by the game loop, which is really looking after these for the whole game. Which is okay, because it means that the ECS system will do most of the stuff for us. But it's not doing the GUI. As you can see, message board text. I'm quite happy to be able to do it. Player attacks monster. Just put the length in. That's it. And it does it for us. I mean, it's not very hard to do. That piece of code is obvious when you see it. But that's because it is using partially the system that I set up originally for the ECS, but we didn't actually do it using the ECS. It's a bit of a... It's the wording's wrong, and it's going to get worse if we can't do anything about it. So let's have a look at how this GUI is working. Now, It's not working the way I want it to, put it that way. Right, so GUI.h is the main thing, isn't it? Yeah, system text. User input should be a component. No, it shouldn't. Doesn't do anything. It's just changing a scan code into an action. So we can change the user input easily later. So I'll skip that one. That's okay. Game turn, yeah, okay. System. We have a component text 3D. But what exactly is this GUI doing? It's a storage class. Gotcha. And that's how the storage is being accessed by the main game loop. Main game loop, what are we calling things? Initialize. It's because this stuff's all in the wrong place. Right, so that's where we need to start then, by putting all of this stuff in the right place. Anything that says initialize should not be in this file. And that's a big full stop. We should have an initialization file. But it's because of that kind of thing happening there. That tells me we've got a missing file. Yeah. What we really should have is a file that goes with common.h. Not called common.c or CPP. Are we using CPPs? Yes, we are. Basically, it's a system startup file. That GUI is coming in through here. Do we actually even call it? Hmm? That's an item in. That's a GUI item create. Damn it. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, that's not being used. Bloody sure of it. Main game loop. Well, the message board itself is a display box. Yeah, it's unnecessary code. I hate unnecessary code. But that's correct. Okay. Add to rendering. Remove from rendering. Lookup entity. That is a component. But it isn't. Hold on a minute. Why is it confusing me so badly? Why? Add, remove, lookup. Add, remove, lookup. But it isn't. That's the problem. Look at the top here. It's static component, component model position. Then that max entities. Where this isn't. That's why it's confusing me. We're just storing what we want to render. This is a render storage. This is an entity. That's why. It's a number, it's an entity. That's a problem. That makes no sense whatsoever. I can see why I've done it. Right. There's a problem here. First of all, need some coffee. Yeah. Right, be right back. Give me 2 to 3 minutes. is where it gets very, very interesting. Actually, I don't mind that too much, although I do think it's overkill. Alright. Oops. I'll stick it up there. Don't like the way this is acting. Never mind. Alright, ECS. Quick description of an ECS is you have an entity which can have 0 or more components. And a system, or we then have a set of systems dealing with oh, that completely wrong, didn't I? Dealing with the components. Is your 101 of ECS. Thank you, Just Eat. That's very kind of you. All right. Which means an entity, as I said very many times, is just a number. I lied. It is just a number, but that's a very simplistic view of what an entity is. 0 or more components. We've got components down. Absolutely. I can tick that off completely. Set of systems dealing with the components. Yes, we have. One of our systems is in a stupid place. Yeah. Right. And our components are in a stupid place as well. Let's sort that out. So when I say it's not just a number, it is. It's just a number. That is all an entity is. It's a number. The little hazy bit that I'm not telling you about is that it's a unique number. And that's the bit I've been leaving out. What they call a unique. Oh, what is it? Sorry, a UUID. That could be looking a bit more like a D, couldn't it? Yeah, well, nearly. Universal IE across whole program. Unique. Never duplicated. Duplicated. Or copied. Identification. Number. Which is, well, I've been cheating a little bit, shall I say, just by saying, oh, we'll start at 1 and just let it go. You can't, can you? Think about it. Oh no, it isn't a number. That's why. It's an identification. Most times, it's a code. Something that will not exist as anything else anywhere else in your program. The only thing in your program that can have that code is that entity. It can't be duplicated. It can't be copied. And that's the rules. Stick to those rules. You can't use the number 1 or 0 because they're all over the goddamn shop. Come on, guys. Wake up, smell the coffee. Oh, good, just made one. I mean, the player's ID is 1. And I've been using that all the way through. But that's not a good number to use, is it, really, when you think about it? What it means is that no matter what happens in your program, you can never mess up your entity. By calculation or anything. Nothing can interfere with your entity. Your entity will exist for as long as you tell it to exist, and it will then be deleted when you tell it to be deleted. Whilst it's alive, nothing within your program can change its identity in any way, shape, or form on purpose or by accident. It just can't accidentally be changed. So you have to have a UUID system, which we don't have. And we're not going to have for this program, but just saying. To start off with, I don't think this program is going to be big enough or worth it. It's going to be big enough by the time we're finished to start thinking about making one, a UUID system. Why is this so important? And why does it cause so many problems? Because this is the bit that causes the problems. You can't use a UUID twice. So, okay. let's just run our program. Our very, 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 very simple program using an ECS system. Let's just run it. Okay, here we go. You'll love this. How many UUIDs are on that screen? On this screen here now. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Well, no, because are these unique? Do these have to be unique? They're in different positions. Does that mean they have to be unique? Well, actually, no. The model has to, the entity, the model has to be unique. Where its components' positions are, can be anywhere. Its position is a component. The entity is the model. And that's what you've got to get into your head. Have a look around your room. Have a look around what you have around you right now. If you're anything like me, you've got a bookcase, you've got a few boxes, a few computers, screwdrivers, soldering irons, and, well, never mind. Keyboards with keys on them. Those are individual entities as well. Each key on your keyboard. Are they adding up yet? I would say in this very, very simple room that I've got here, I've got way, oh God, no, I've got way over 1,000 entities. Got pieces of paper, books, notes, scribblings. God. Little sound studio behind me. Yeah, we've got thousands in just around me in a small, what, 5 meter by 4 meter room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meter by 4 meter room. Okay, let's 6 by 4. Yeah, well, give it to me 6 by 4. So in that space there, I have over 1,000 entities. Easily. That's 1,000 models. And the place isn't, well, it is cluttered, but it's not overly cluttered. It's a working area, so there's bits and pieces everywhere. If you come up with the same realization, then we're not going to be able to go anywhere near reality, is the first thing we have to stop thinking about. Our 3D world cannot be a reflection of reality. So, what we've got to do is have a made-up world. Doesn't have to be free of clutter. You can have clutter, but your clutter can't be 1,000 pieces. It's got to be one piece. That's all I'm saying. You've got to lump it all together and put things into one entity. But that entity is still a number. And that's why components are so handy. Because as we make components, we make more and more diverse entities, or the availability of more diverse entities. So now we've got an idea of how serious this is. What's the fun part about this? It means we can do anything. We can do absolutely anything we want. but we do need to move that. Hmm. Okay. All right. So this file here, I'm saying, no, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. What I'm saying really is, here, we can add a new folder and we can just call it components, can't we? How many components are we going to have in the end? An awful lot. Hmm. You see, the size of a component also matters. How many pieces of information stored within a component matters. You should really limit yourself. Um, if we have a components thingy, I think we really should add a new folder and call them systems. Component is singular though in ECS, isn't it? I don't care. So there to there, all of you lot can go in there. Like that. Which means that you can go in there. And you can go in there. And you can go in there. And you can go in there. Okay. I've just messed up the whole of my program. No, I haven't. No. Oh, gonna just escape out of that load of garbage on the screen, please. Thank you. That keyboard's somewhere where I can at least get at it. Oh, lovely. Here we go. Is this here? Okay. Control key, please. Right, so all we need to do now is move that to one side for stars, does that? There we go. Is combat component. Actually, it's going to be easier if I go to source. ECS. I think I'll just look at that one, isn't it? So it's in two header files. Now you know I wanted this. So I want to change sand damage and monster manual.h. God, these are looking good now. Wow. They actually work. Fantastic. This is what the whole of today has been about, or this evening has been about, is being able to just move some files without the whole thing becoming a nightmare. So, component.cpp. Well, yeah, very funny. That's where it is. What we need is the two header files, Sun Damage and Monster Manual. So let's go find them. Get rid of those whilst we're here. And it's no longer ECS system. What did I just do? Huh? Undamage and Monster Manual. Oh, they'll all come up in red, so it's easy, isn't it? I'm just wondering whether it's easy just to flick through all the H's and hope and do them that way. Probably is now. Oh no, because we won't be able to tell, will we? There you go. Oh, I can do all these at the same time, can't I? Right, that's that done. There shouldn't be too much of this to do, luckily. Oh, wrong mouse. I know. It's getting late. So that was combat.h. Should all be across the center anyway. So that's that one. Model positions all over the place, isn't it? That's move entity. Sand combat.h. Game rules sand combat.h has still got a line going over. Component model position. What did I just do then? Alright, I've confused myself again. I've got two ways of doing this, haven't I? I can put a common components file in. Bad idea. What I'm thinking of doing is this. Just a header file really in there. ECS components.h, like that, and just putting in source, no, hash include. That. Right, what's the top one? Combat. Then we have model position. You can see what's going on now, can't you? Monster AI. We got the 4. Text 3D, yeah. So I've only got 4. So I would have that. Wherever I see that, all I would do is I would put in components.h. Like that. And it can't find it. Oh, that's because we haven't saved out. Doesn't help. We added it to the system. Oh, could be an ECS. Why won't you recognize it? Ah, That's why. That to me makes more sense. Add a new item. Header file. ECS. Systems. No, don't do that. Hash include source ECS systems. Nope. ECS. Yeah, just systems by itself. That one. And this is going to make your life so much easier. Future. Do the work now, the future becomes easy. That's move entity, that's text. Lovely, done. And now, anytime we want a component, or a system, just have to type in the right thing. Systems, that's ECS. System, plural. It's not as descriptive of what you're going to get, but if the system doesn't exist, it'll soon tell you about it. I think the easiest way of doing this is just going through them all, isn't it? All right. Was that the last one I was in? Mm. So that now becomes ECS. Yeah, was it systems it was after? I can't remember now. All right, my brain is totally turning to jelly at this point. System.txt. Yes. All right, that's you done. Oh, can't we just use this one? So that was that. Let's do component. Comes ECS components with capitals. Something wonderful will happen. I'm hoping. Thank you. That's going to be the most popular one. Thank you. Build. Rid of the first lot. Easy peasy. Everything should now start to make sense. Never mind. I'll see if I put it right in a moment. Oh, was that it? I thought it wouldn't be many. Shouldn't be it. Worked. Whoa, he came in very fast. Yeah, it's working. Oopsie daisy, don't do that. Lovely. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm happy that that is an entity. I'm not happy with where it is. It's worth changing. Let's be honest. I don't like it though. Because we have to split the rendering down into batches, but batches are different things. Oh, hold on a minute. I haven't done the batch rendering yet, I know that. And that's not going into this version. It always keeps coming back to you. Always. So far, all changes have made sense, I hope. Now ECS has components, systems, and entities. ECS. Well, who would have thought? We now have components, we now have systems. but we do have GUI entities. Entity list. Which is exactly the same as the GUI part. Initialize. Destroy. Add to rendering, remove from rendering. I'm running an update on it. I'm going to think about that a bit more because that update breaks the entity rule. You can't update an entity. You can update a component, you can't update an entity. I think it needs to be split down into a component and then just use the entities. We need it splitting down into a component. It's two things at once. It's breaking both rules. Which means that that will disappear altogether, which isn't exactly going to cause a ruckus, is it? If I'm right. Comes into here, doesn't it, somewhere? There. So the only place it's being used is in where? Game turn. Main game loop. But they're coming down the same line. Game turn's got the reference for it. I think it's awkward. Very, very awkward. Okay. This is a bit that we're interested in. Okay. Let's take a look at game turn first. If we can integrate this properly, we've cracked it. It's line 7. Hmm. You see, it's been held in its own area. If you put that in as an entity ID, you get a floor tile. Mm. So it's even going to break the UUIDs. Oh, I'm loving this. It has to be rewritten. It can't do it this way. The initial initialization. The first part where we initialize is fine, absolutely fine, but we're going to have to move it, obviously. Let's move all those initializers. Um, Now we've changed this and taken out the silly bit. Put an entity creates in, it makes more sense. It's what to call it. What does this give it? It just gives it a display box ID. Right, it all stems from what I've done here. Yeah, and I've even put it in GUI to render. And that's what this should be called. Table num. Clever. We should really have a list of tables. So it's just badly named. How the hell will I retrieve the entities though? We would need a table of GUI elements. Because GUI to render is going to change. Because obviously what's coming on screen next is something called the inventory. Well, you don't want to be displaying everything else at the same time as the inventory, do you? Or do you? There is a way of overlapping stuff. What did I do about distances? Yeah, I thought so. X is across. Z, Y is up. Or down in this case for a display box, because they're all across the bottom. Minus 0.6. I didn't give myself a lot of room, did I? If I put a box at 0.5, it will go on top of that. Where did I put the text then? At 0.5. But I'd put the box at 0.4. I would need an information box that we can just slide down from the top of the screen into 0.4 at 0.4. We can put the inventory in that. But we can't add any depth to that box. Hmm. Because I can't add that box to the GUI to render. So this whole GUI system doesn't work. Because of this is a patched together idea. Just to display the idea that you can do a GUI with three-dimensional models, which you can. There's no harm in doing that at all. I've proved it. Well, we're doing it, should I say. Not just proved it, it's actually in existence and in this program. It's here, folks. That, believe it or not, is a 3D text and is fully shadowed and shaded. Yeah. You won't be able to see it, neither can I see it on this screen. If that's full screen, you'd be able to see the shading on it. In Metal, it was wonderful. It did the shading really well on the Mac OS when I tried it out. But otherwise, not too bad. Okay, there is a fault in the models. Didn't see that before. I think that's more Microsoft than the models, though. So this shouldn't be GUI to render. Well, it should. Add to rendering, remove from render. Yeah, we could remove a load and then just add. Well, no, you just add one box or not. Like a big display box or a menu box. And then remove it again. So we can create an entity and add it and remove it as we see fit. It will work, that. But this is GUI to render. Just a note for myself. This file just holds which GUI entities should be currently rendered. That's it. No, rendering. GUI entities should be, no, shall. This file just holds which GUI entities. We are currently rendering. We are. Thank you. It's a definite. It's not a shall, could be, or anything like that. It's a definite. We are currently rendering. So we can overlay and add we can add to and remove from to cover our base rendering. That's why I put that 0.5 in and 0.6 in. Lovely. I think we've got it now. I think we've moved everything into the correct places. I think now I know what this is really all about. This GUI.h. It's bothering me, but it's not as bothering me. I can work with it, but the whole thing needs to be rewritten. The GUI system. The user input is straightforward. That works perfectly. This is just holding a rendering thing. Now we've got to add the inventory. Yeah. Because we're not doing the 3D stuff. I understand now. Where is it? Is it that one? Right. I think I've sorted everything out that I want to sort out at this point in time. Let's just have a quick look at this lot. Okay. Okay. Sorted ECS files to separate folders. Yeah. God, this thing's slow. Request. Okay, I should have done it. There we And there we go. Yes, in the center. Oh, it hasn't. It stayed there. All right. Fine. Oh, yes. It's worked. Okay. So now, not a bad evening's work. Even I've got to say so. Not easy to do because you're playing around with things I haven't looked at for a month or so. But now we have how has Monster Manual got access to that? That should have been stopped. This is the whole point of doing this, is to stop that from happening. Monster Manual, what the hell are you doing? Not responding, why? Didn't even touch it. Hello? What? My bad. Let's put it all. Supposed to work on that one. Monster. Correction. Any more that I can see? Everything comes to this point here. And it should be bloody obvious. GameTurn.h, why do you need to have that in? Why are you needed? You're not. Answer. Okay. Good. have to work on Microsoft all day anymore. It'd drive me mental. It really, really would, I'm sorry to say. I can work on whatever I want now. It's definitely getting thinner. Done. Starting to look like a real program at long last. You. Fantastic. Done it. So now we have our entity, our components. You've noticed that's now been lunked off to one side. And where are our systems? Our systems are here. And our systems, yeah. I'm big. You can see everything now. I'll show you that. Yeah, for starters, I can get it all onto one screen nearly. By the looks of this. Use the correct thing. 1 second. Yeah, it'll fit on a screen now. That's the first thing. Might not be able to read it very well, but hey ho. But now what we have, remember, I got no influence over how this gets made. This is just what the program does it all by itself in its own little way. Right, the two new things that were put in now are the system here. That's ECS systems.h. We'll put in ECS components.h, the focal point. See now that it's a focal point. There's your entity still by itself. And that, which is the other thing, the reference. But you can see now which order they're in. It's ECS. It's not ESC. It could easily have been. It isn't. It's Entity Component System for a reason. A very, very big reason. That is the order in which they get read in to the compiler. So our compiler will be looking at this first. Second, a couple of utility files over here. Shaders might get jumped in there for some unknown, inexplicable reason why the hell it's there and not up at the top, but hey ho. I think it's because we've got it in CPP, in the main CPP file. So the header gets pushed to the top, which is the bottom of this graph. Header files get read up. CPP files are down the graph. The reverse. Arrows go the other way. Sorry, the arrows go the other way for the header files. These arrows are for the CPP files. I know it's bloody awful. It's not my idea of a visual. I didn't make it. It's not my program. Yep. All combat's still over here. Monster Manual, Treasure, Models, Dungeon, Rendering are all together over here on the rendering system. All the rules are over here with the AI, the game turn, inputs outside of everything. It's fine because our GUI is outside of everything. So those two, this line coming down here and this line coming down here somehow have to meet. I'm not sure about it yet though. But now you can see the starts there. But that up to whereabouts? There it is. That's for game turn and combat. No, does it all, does it? Never mind. That's your game turn and combat. And that's your dungeon monster treasure. Now, treasure items will have to link in to our collisions. Where's our collision system? Well, that's up there, isn't it? That doesn't matter then. It's here. Well, it's already linked in. Doesn't matter. So as you can see, systems link in to here and here respectively. So as you can see, there's these going to this system here, into the ECS. This actually doesn't take much of the systems, but it does go into the systems. That's detect, and that's system move. Doesn't goes on to collision. Where's the system? There it is. It's just our systems haven't got it together yet. We've only got the two. So that should really move up there. Eventually. We'll find all of our systems will go side by side. Nearly does, but it's just dragged it down here because it's grouped with these. And that's grouped with this. These two grouped here to here. So your movement system is coming through here. Text system is going through there. So those are your systems. And that's how it's working. You've got your ECS going up, down, and you've got your data crunching on the left and the right, the circle bits, and you've got the systems for altering the components in the middle. So these are data crunchings. All programs are start, input, calculate, call it calc there, and output, and end. There you go. I've written every single program that's ever been written in a couple of lines. These are all calcs. And this is calcs. The data. Your input is coming in through the top. I know it sounds stupid, but your input is coming in through the top. So input is from here. And your output is there. And there's your output. Okay. Input, calculation, output. And that's what I wanted to try and show you today. That the system is in place. It's coming. Well, it's in better shape now than it was at the beginning of this evening, to say the least. It's been bit of backwards and forwards working with this horrible Doxygen thing. But I must admit it's been well worth it in my book. That is the kind of thing which I wish I'd had when I was younger. The ability to just do that without having to do it myself. Yeah. Having to do it yourself. I'll move it on that. So, yeah, I'm intrigued on how that's going to develop. I'm going to have another look at it tomorrow and see if we can start into the coding for either the inventory or the combat system. I'm not really too bothered about doing the combat system at the moment. That can hang fire till like the very last part, so we know what the heck's going on. So many different factors can alter a combat system and how it works. It can be interesting. Why has it got this here? How do I get rid of it? Oh, right, that's just the details, is it? Got too many of these now. Went across the bottom. What the hell have they done? They tried to make it simpler and only... look, it stops every time I try and get to this. Look, the hell's it doing? Microsoft, please stop it. You're just overcomplicating a very, very simple system. And I didn't even ask for that. So now it becomes easy. For our inventory, all we have to do is set up the rules and make sure our game world, which it already does, has items. So we are going to add to the game world items. That is the next stage. Let's just have a look, see what notes I've written. Yeah, we just done that. Game rules, integrate with some combat rules. Done. UI rendering giving rise to the inventory system. That's what we can now do. That GUI isn't going to get in the way of things now. That GUI is going to help us do it. And that's going to play a big part. So we're going to need models. We're going to need the rest of the models. Yeah. Now, you're thinking, that's going to get complicated, isn't it? The rest of the models? What do you mean? How about lowercase a to z? Numbers, they might be useful. Do you want to know the worst thing about it all is? We've already programmed the system to load them automatically. I hope. I can't say that for the numbers, but I can say it for the lowercase letters. I can't remember what the number ASCII codes are. But I know the lowercase ones are in the 30s. Do we go up to 255? Equals ASCII, yeah. Don't know what that's still doing there. Why has that got a star on it now? Oh yes, because I just altered it. It's not in the monster manual. Warehouse. 126. So it actually goes up to 127. 0 to 127. We ignore 127. There's a good reason for it, and I can't remember what it is. So the resource models, it will try and load from 0 to 127. 0 to 127 here. We'll try and load them. If they're there, it'll load them. If they're not, it won't. Because we place everything in the correct place, we know where all of the ASCII characters are by their GUI model number. Sorry, by their ASCII code is the model number. It's just using stuff that we've already got, basically. Otherwise, you're given an ASCII code, so why not use it? And I did put that in. Load all textures 1, 2. This can fail. Exit on false. 1 to 3 in this case. Really? All we've got? Yep. So why do I start the count at 0? We don't have a 0. That's interesting. I wonder if that was just to spring that on me. Well, I haven't done the correction steps yet. I really should do that before we continue as well, but okay. I'm happy. Are you happy? I think everybody should be happy. Oh, I'll keep getting welcome to the chat room. That means Twitch is being stupid again and probably hasn't recorded everything. My apologies if it hasn't, but all we've done tonight is basically get everything sorted out and cleaned a hell of a lot up so that we can fit the next system into the systems that we already have. And the systems that we already have will work perfectly. I just haven't gone through and done the corrections, have I? Like that one there. 1, 2, and then you've got a 0 here. It's like, read the line above. Small things like that need taking out. Doesn't stop the system from working. It just ignores 0. We don't use 0 anywhere, so there you go. Isn't 0 false? Interesting. So there we go. We're done. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by and bearing with me on 2 computers, 3 keyboards, 3 mice, a pen, and a pen tablet. This looks more like an artist's studio than it does a computer room right now with all of these things lying around. It's been a pleasure doing this one. Good to be back. Good to be back after the dark days of winter. As we go towards spring now, I hope to become a regular back on my own stream. And in the meantime, I'd like you all to take care. And above all, I'd like you to have fun. If you can find a stop button, that is. Hey!